everybody, so today we're going to show you guys the Ultra roller wheel tips, and these tips have been around for years, but most people are really unaware of these tips and the benefits of them, and they're really pretty cool. We've got 9 different tips, and so we'll talk about each one of these tips a little bit in detail, but these tips are really not meant to roll a dent out, which would some people have the misconception that you would roll a dent out with this tip. It's actually used to roll in the area under pressure to locate, navigate, find the tip of the tool in the low, and then you push straight up like you do with a normal dent tip. So for starters, the way we install these tips is we just screw it into the end of a screw-on tip tool, and you get that thing screwed in there, and then it's got a jam nut on there. So you want it to be lined up in line with the rod. So then we're going to tighten up the jam nut, and we got a little wrench here. So we want to make sure that it's pretty perfectly in line. So you got to accommodate for the little bit of a cinch when you tighten it. So once that thing is in there and it's all tightened straight up and everything, so you can now move that thing in just like you would a normal dent tool. So I'm going to show you guys how these things are used. Okay guys, so I got the tool all ready to go. I got the tip on there, it's all straight, it's tightened up. I'm going to go ahead and put a dent in this practice panel. There's a little bit of distortion from some of the guys practicing. It's not a perfectly damaged panel, but it's good enough for a demo. So I'm going to put a dent in it right here, and I'm going to show you guys how easy it is to be able to find the tip of the tool. So really one of the main benefits with this tip is that you can see the tip a lot easier than you can with a standard hard tip, stainless steel or even plastic, because as you roll it just, for whatever reason, it gives you more vision. So we're going to go ahead and get this thing set up. Put chain hook in there, and then you guys should be able to see pretty well how easy it is to see the tip of the tool. Okay, as I roll it through the dent, you can see it pretty well, right? So you can roll it, and now that you can see it easier, once you're in there, you're going to just go for the deepest part of the low, and you're going to start making some light pushes in there. And the idea with this tip is that it's sharp enough to where we don't have to make too many pushes with it, but it is pushing up very softly. So it really is it's like a super soft tip. And you can finish the dent all the way with this tip, okay, if you do it properly. And what I like about it is it's very forgiving on the paint. So I've never cracked paint with one of these roller wheels. On even some very, very, very sharp dents. Okay, so we're going to get it lifted up, and we're going to take a look at it, and we'll knock it down a little bit, but we should be able to finish the dent all the way with just this tip. The other nice thing about these wheels is that you don't seem to cornrow your dents as much as you with the standard tip with these wheels. They're more forgiving as far as the cornrowing. So I've only looked at this dent from this direction, but my guess is at this point it's probably got a little bit of a line in it, but probably not as bad as what your typical cornrowing that you would get. So this is what we're left with right here, that little bit of a groove right there after the first few minutes of pushing, which is amazing, right? It's a pretty decent little dent. You know, it's not quite a golf ball size dent, but it's a pretty good normal, like hail size dent. Very forgiving tip, very easy to see the tip of the tool in there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to come back on it, and we're going to make a few more pushes on it from this direction, and we're going to finish it up, and then hopefully we won't even have to knock it down. Okay, and that's pretty much it. Very quickly, just a few minutes, amazing tips. So we're gonna give you a close-up view on the 9 tips that we've got and kind of what they are and which ones, what they're used for. And from that point, you guys can hopefully speed up your dent repair, and it's great for new techs. Newbies are gonna love these tips because they're forgiving and it's easier to find the tip of the tool. So here are your ultra soft tip roller wheels. You've got 9 different wheels, and you've got your low density flats, you've got your low density sharps, and then you've got your high density flats and sharps. And these come in 1/2 inch diameter, 3/4, and 1 inch. And the flats are used for open areas, or in the 1/2 inch case, they're going to be used through a 1/2 inch hole or bigger. And the sharps are meant to rough and finish dents. And the flats are going to be used for just mostly roughing dents out or for the edges of body lines and etc. My go-to tip is the 3/4 inch high density sharp. This one I use all the time to rough and finish dents. And then we've got the high density hard rubberized 1 inch flat, and that's really good for out in the heat and for really tough dents. They're super durable, so it'll take a lot of abuse. Check these out, ultradentTools.com.